Here's why Dune is being split into two movies. In case you've been living under a rock for the past 55 years or so, you should know that Dune is widely considered to be one of the greatest science fiction novels of all time. And you can see its influence on everything from movies like Star Wars and Alien, as well as TV shows like Star Trek and Futurama. But for many fans, the various adaptations of Dune over the years have fallen short of expectations. But thanks to a first look this week in Vanity Fair, it seems like the upcoming big screen version of Dune may have even the most cynical of fans changing their balisette tunes. Now, if it's been a while since you picked up the book, then don't worry, we've got you covered. Frank Herbert's 1965 novel tells the story of humanity's distant future spread across the galaxy. In this far-flung future, space travel is made possible through the use of a mind-expanding drug known as the spice melange, and the spice melange is exclusively found on the desert planet of Arrakis, which is known for its inhospitable climate. And to make matters worse, beyond dying in the desert of thirst, guess what? There's sandworms. Yes, I said sandworms. You know, the worst kind of worms? Well, they've got them in spades. The actual novel itself gets into the Machiavellian maneuverings of two noble houses who are warring and backstabbing over control of the planet and its priceless spice. Our reluctant hero is Paul Atreides, a young noble who moves to Arrakis with his family and becomes embroiled in a fight for his newfound home's future. This story's basically Game of Thrones meets Star Wars, except it came before either of them. And speaking of Star Wars, Dune influenced so much major science fiction, it's kind of ridiculous. I mean, do you think it was just sheer chance that Luke Skywalker lived on a desert planet before embarking on his hero's journey, and Han Solo smuggled a drug known only as spice? Why do you think sandworms showed up in Beetlejuice, for crying out loud? I mean, the list goes on and on. However, Dune has a bit of a reputation for being notoriously difficult to adapt. Trying to fit all of those complex themes and world building and allegory into a 2-hour movie, well, it's a bit of a Sisyphean task. There was a failed attempt in the 1970s by Alejandro Jodorowsky involving everyone from Mick Jagger to Salvador Dali, but perhaps the best-known version of Dune is David Lynch's adaptation in 1984. While that movie has reached cult status over the years and is praised for its trippy visuals, memorable score by Toto, and Sting wearing weird underwear, it had to cut out a metric ton of plot. It also changed much of the remaining story in a way that left fans of the books as unsatisfied as David Lynch himself felt about the movie. Then there was that 6-hour miniseries that the Sci-Fi Channel made in 2000, which was definitely a product of that decade's special effects and budget, and that's being Benny generous. However, with the latest version of Dune set to come out this December, director Denis Villeneuve is hoping to avoid the mistakes of the past, and he's going to do so by splitting Dune into two parts. In an interview with Vanity Fair this week, Villeneuve said, "I would not agree to make this adaptation of the book with one single movie. The world is too complex. It's a world that takes its power in details." Now, this should have longtime Dunatics breathing a sigh of relief through their homemade still suits, because in the world of Dune, details matter. Villeneuve has proven that he's one of the most exciting science fiction filmmakers around with Arrival, and he's more than capable of playing in classic sci-fi worlds created by other people, as he showed with Blade Runner 2049. Ultimately, we agree with this decision to split Dune into two parts. Turning the sprawling first book of the Dune saga into two films is probably the only way to properly convey the scope of the universe that Frank Herbert built in the novels. And no spoilers, but there's definitely a natural midpoint in the novel that would make an ideal place to split this story into two parts. In Vanity Fair's first look at the film on Monday, Timothée Chalamet, who plays the book's protagonist, Paul Atreides, explained what makes Dune and its characters so groundbreaking. The immediately appealing thing about Paul was the fact that in a story of such detail and scale and world building, the protagonist is on an anti-hero's journey of sorts. And speaking of such detail and scale and world building, to highlight just how much plot there is in this series, Legendary is also working on a TV show for the upcoming HBO Max streaming service called Dune: The Sisterhood. That show is going to follow one of the members of the mysterious Bene Gesserit order. Now, I don't have 50 minutes to explain in detail who they are, but suffice it to say, 2 words: space witches. They influenced George Lucas when he was creating the Jedi Order, and they're involved in enough political intrigue across the galaxy to fill the hole in any Game of Thrones fan's heart. And if you want even more Dune in your life, tune into tomorrow's Nerdist News, because we're doing a full breakdown of all the new Dune images, Easter eggs, and deep cut references that you might have missed. Plus, in the meantime, head to Nerdist.com for up-to-the-minute updates. But in the meantime, tell me, what do you folks think? How do you feel about Dune being split into 2 movies? What elements of the Dune novel do you hope to see on the big screen? And what other Dune spin-off series do you hope to see in the future? As for me, America's Next Top Balisette player, let's discuss. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel so you never miss a new episode. And if you want to get notified whenever we put up a new video or drop a new show, make sure you hit that little bell down below. That way, you're going to be up to date on all the latest news, rumors, and theories in the pop culture world. In the meantime, stay safe, be healthy, and have a great day. Bye-bye.